Hey, Robbie. All right, I am trying this in several ways. So, welcome to Fairy Godmother Q&A. Today, I want to talk to you about unmet potential. My doggies, let them do their thing. Hopefully, they will stop. So, I wanted to talk about unmet potential. And so, when we think about unmet potential, I think that's could come up as regret. So, what is unmet potential? Let's start from the basics. You know you are capable of more. And sometimes it's not just about what we're capable of. It's like, I think life, there needs to be more to life. So, Robbie, can you hear my dogs barking in the background? See you there. Okay, let's see. All right, this is real life. I have to get the door. I'll be back. Okay. No. I'm back. Okay, we're talking about unmet potential. Now, there's many reasons for this, but it usually has to do with wanting to achieve something that feels out of grasp. And there could be a lot of regret around this. It could be shame. It could be feelings of time is running out. So, what I want to talk about is the truth of it, which is it's never too late. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, it's a matter of figuring out what it realistically takes and be willing to allocate the time and bandwidth to make it happen. And I find that sometimes unmet potential can be a bit of a distraction to being in the moment. So we always talk about how being in the moment has to do, that's where the magic is. When we can be present, we don't need anything. We can just be and allow. And most people that I know are really good about doing things. Yet it is really important to have the balance of being so that your actions can go a lot further. So, is there something that you feel like is just out of reach for you? And if so, what is that? So it's good to be clear about what that is. And then the next step is what is possible when that is achieved? What does life look like when that is done? So think about that. And then it's really important to see now, is this like a long-term goal? Is this a short-term goal? Or is this something that is being used as a distraction? We all distract each other. It's not, are we distracting each other? It's how are we distracting each other and why ourselves? So a workaholic's perspective. Hello. Hi, Denise. So from a workaholic's perspective, for example, a lot of times, yes, there's work that needs to happen. But if doing it in a compulsive way is actually a distraction from being, and the distraction from being is actually a distraction from feeling. which is why we talk about doing our daily reflection, where we account for the day and ask ourselves, okay, this is what happened. What are the feelings involved here? And do any of them need to be processed, let go, explored further, so that we are clear and clean for the next day? I find that for a lot of my clients, the missing link, for them is this lack of processing the day. And this, it sounds so simple that most people don't do it, but it's really, really, really magical, because whether things are good or bad, you can account for them. And then it puts like a distance between you and those things. And then you can look at it like from a neutral place and then decide, okay, what do I want more of? What do I want less? What needs to be corrected? What needs to be continued? And so on. So now back to unmet potential. That is a bit of a loaded term, because some people can use that as part of like the goals I'm trying to achieve. Other people can use that as another thing of setting themselves up for disappointment, judging themselves, and punishing themselves. Because if you've got unmet potential, then are you interpreting that as something you haven't done yet that you should have? Now, that's okay if you can look at that from a grounded place. And yes, I want to, like if you're planning a trip, I want to get to here, and right now I'm here and I want to get there. But if you're using that to make yourself wrong or to punish yourself in any way, that's the part we need to let go of. So if you are suffering around this idea of unmet potential, I invite you to get rid of it. Let's think of, we can think of like a cenote, or like a big hole. We can look at it, Earth's, what is it, like recycle bin or garbage, what's it called? Oh my God, what is the word for this thing? It's in the sink, you put garbage in and it gets rid of it. Anyway, we can take this and return it back to Earth, this idea of unmet potential, clean the slate, let it go. If we've been using it to punish ourselves, we let that go. And then we get ourselves centered and we think about, what do I want to achieve? Where do I want to go? And then we just see it as the next adventure, the next journey, instead of the loaded unmet potential. So we want to break free from that, because that negativity, that judgment, could actually be holding us back. And again, it's not what other people are doing out in the world, it's how we are doing it to ourselves, right? So what if you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now? You've achieved, you are where you are, so that's where you need to be. And when we think about our goals, what is possible, instead of what were we supposed to do, what was expected of us, what we expected for ourselves, and what we have not yet accomplished. Judgment, judgment, judgment. So this is a invitation to free yourselves from that pressure and limitations, especially as we close out this year. It's really, really powerful to take a look and inventory, like we inventory the day, let's inventory the year. What did you accomplish? What did you wish you accomplished? And then is that still something worth pursuing? And if it is, great. Move it to January or next year and figure out, when you're doing your planning, which of the months you want to focus on that, because that's where the power is. We're not bound by time, we're bound by our focus and what we want to create. So I hope you've let go of any limitations around the idea of unmet potential. One of my superpowers is seeing how we limit ourselves or with people's language, especially my clients, just by when they talk, it's like bing, limiting, limitation, limitation, limitation. So it's really important to be aware, listen to the words we're using, and then decide, okay, is this an empowerment phrase, or am I using this to subconsciously belittle myself? Because you could always correct and continue. So thank you so much for listening. I wish you well. I'll see you tomorrow. Continue submitting your questions. And until then, may wonder, wellness, and wisdom be yours.